Hi, and welcome to SIA Media Requirement Orientation. My name is Alex Malvaz, and I am the Career Events and Marketing Coordinator. And I will be working with you this summer to help you through these media requirements, and also I will be reviewing your submissions as well. If there's anything I don't cover in this orientation that you still have questions on, or maybe you just have some follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to myself. I will be linking my email at the end of this presentation. You can also reach out to Abby or your designated counselor, and we will all be more than happy to answer any question that you might have. Also, some of the topics that we will be covering today is answer the big question of why it is we have you completing these media requirements. And really, the short answer to that question is that our goal is to help you showcase the amazing work you are all doing while also promoting SIA to future donors and students to hopefully keep the scholarship going. We will also be covering a quick overview, our plan, some how-tos, do's and don'ts, some sample executions to give you hopefully some inspiration and guidelines, the submission process, and the timeline. So after this orientation, everybody will be receiving an email from myself. So please keep a lookout for that with your due dates for each assignment. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any of us. And you will also be receiving reminder emails a couple days before your submission is due. So if any of the due dates don't work with your internship because your due date, your start and end date have shifted, please feel free to reach out to myself, and I am more than happy to work with you to make sure that we do not stress you out, because that's not the point of this program. It's really meant to help you and to help showcase all the amazing work that we know you're all doing. So we're gonna go over some quick requirement overviews. It's really just quality check to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So first we'll go over the photo requirements. Please shoot your photos horizontally. You do not need a camera. Your phone is completely fine. All we ask is that you just take photos in landscape mode. When you're submitting your photos, please make sure that they are in a JPEG or PNG format. Unfortunately, the program that we use to create the photo book that we hand out to donors during the SIA interview doesn't take any other format. So we will unfortunately have to ask you to resubmit if it is not in those formats. And if you need any help on identifying what type of photo format you are taking, please feel free to reach out to myself, and I am more than happy to go over that with you. And keep in mind that you're trying to showcase your summer experience, your summer internship experience. So we ask that when you try to capture these images, you just keep that in the back of your mind, because sometimes you might know what's going on when you're taking the photo, but if the photo isn't accurately representing that, it might get missed in translation. So for video requirements, same thing as photos, we ask that you shoot it horizontally. The videos is most important that they are in horizontal format, because we will be submitting this onto YouTube, which doesn't take vertical videos. So if you do submit a vertical video, unfortunately, we will have to ask that you resubmit. All your video clips will be added to a video that will be shared to our donors. So it will be a compilation. So keep that in mind when you're taking your videos. Your video will be what is referred to as B-roll. And really our goal is to illustrate the story that is told by the SIA scholarship. So if you, at the end of this orientation, I will be showing you the last year's video and some other videos that we've made off of content that was created. So if you want any help or inspiration, let me know, and I am happy to go over what type of videos you can create. And again, when you're submitting, please make sure that you're submitting in an MP4 format or a movie format, preferably MP4, which is automatically the format that iPhones or Androids create when you're taking the video. So that one should be a little easier. So when it comes to quality for both photos and videos, like I mentioned, you may take your images and videos on your cell phone camera. Please do not feel that you need a high quality like digital camera because phones nowadays are awesome, so they do the job perfectly. Just I do ask that you please make sure that your camera is on the highest quality setting possible. We would really like to avoid photos and videos that are blurry or foggy, and we will have to ask you to resubmit if your quality is not good, because unfortunately we can't edit that out in post-production. So we always recommend that when you're taking your photos or your videos, just make sure to clean your camera. And we'll be going over some quick tips on just how to avoid those little nuances that can sometimes occur. You will also be having a written requirement. You're going to be required to submit a paragraph minimum of 6 sentences that will be included in the book that will be given to donors alongside your photos. So it needs to be submitted within an editable Word document. And please make sure to spell check it and grammar check it, because we won't be able to do that. So we just want to make sure that everything is good to go. When it comes to submitting your content, you will all be added onto a Google Drive folder that will be shared with each one of you. When you're signing on to this Google Drive, please make sure that you are using your @San Diego email, because otherwise it will not let you enter the drive, and I unfortunately cannot change those settings. So if for any reason you get an error message saying that you do not have access, just make sure that you're on the right email, because all of your San Diego emails have access. And if you keep encountering that error, please make sure to reach out to myself, and I am more than happy to help you out with that. The assignments will be all preloaded into the folder, and in another slide, I will show you how that drive will look like. Your due dates will be assigned for each media requirement, and a reminder email will be sent, like I mentioned. You're all going to be placed into groups based on your your internship start date and your internship end date, and that's how I aligned your due dates. So if anything changes and you need a longer period of time, please let me know, and I am more than happy to work with you on finding dates that work with your schedule. So for the submission checklist, I wanted to just outline here what the items are that you will be doing this summer. You will be taking a total of 8 photos and 7 videos. That might sound a bit daunting, but I promise that it's gonna go by really fast. The videos do not have to be more than 30 seconds long. And if you need any just someone to brainstorm with, please, I am more than happy to do some quick brainstorming. I helped a lot of students last year, and we were able to get some great footage from them and some great, awesome photos from them. So please do not be afraid to reach out. So some quick tips for better photos before I go into each of the requirements and how they look like. When you are taking a photo or your video, please make sure that you're always adjusting your exposure. What bad exposure could look like is when you're taking a photo and you see like white cast in their background. So that usually can happen if you're standing directly in front of the sun or you're directly in front of a window. So my first recommendation that's actually not on here is avoid that. Avoid standing right in front of light. Make sure that the light is opposite to you, and that will usually help avoid the exposure issue. However, if that is unavoidable, I do recommend that you utilize the settings within your camera to adjust your exposure, and that actually is really simple. For those that have iPhones, what that looks like is when you have your camera like this and you just tap on it, you will see the sun icon appear right here, and all you do is you scroll up or down depending on whether you need to increase the exposure or decrease the exposure. So you will see that right here, and I have a quick blurb on how to do that. When it comes to centering your image, again, I've turned on the grid on my phone, so you can see it right here. You can also see it right here, and what that will do is it'll just give you a guide on how to center your subject. So please make sure that you are in the center of the photo, and video. Reason being is because a lot of times we have to crop the photos in order to make sure that we can fit you all. So I would hate to have to crop out your shoulder or not really be able to put you in the photo correctly. If possible, I do recommend that you consider working with a tripod. It could be a makeshift tripod. I don't expect you to go buy a tripod. I personally always tend to make my own tripod. I've used books, you know, when you like lean your phone on some books, or I've leaned it on like the ledge of a shelf. So just get creative. It's really just meant to help you so that you're not always having to ask people to take a photo for you. Okay, some quick do's and don'ts, and I've covered on some of these already. Please make sure that you are cleaning your camera so that you do not have foggy photos. You can see this right here is a foggy photo, and that is close to impossible for me to edit out. So unfortunately, we will have to ask you to resubmit if your photos are foggy or they're blurry. So just make sure that when you're taking your photo, you try to keep a still hand. If possible. Usually cameras are really good about like avoiding blurry photos, and just make sure every time you take a photo, you just clean your camera really quick, because it's crazy how fast like your camera can fog up. Please make sure that you're not taking any selfies or any close-ups, and this goes back to even centering yourself, and this is all just to avoid me having to crop you out. Okay, so we're gonna quickly look over some submissions from last year, and I'll be going over every one of the assignments like I showed you in the past slide, and just wanted to remind you that this orientation will be on the drive for you to go back to and reference, and all your emails are also going to cover those submissions, and on the drive you will also have a folder that has instructions to each one of the assignments, and it'll also go into a little bit of an explanation of what those photos really look like. I actually have right here a quick example of last year's drive. So if you can see right here, it says assignment instructions. I unfortunately don't have a picture of what that looks like, but essentially what each assignment instruction will have is each of the media that is due for that assignment, and it also goes into like what a company pride photo is, or what a workspace video looks like, and what our vision is behind that. And again, if you need any help or any clarification, please feel free to reach out to myself. And one other quick note is here you can see that people are in groups. You can see whether it's a number or a letter in front of them, and that's just a group that you're in. And again, your group is based on your internship start date and end date, just to make sure that everybody's due dates makes sense, just because I don't want to have someone having to take photos and videos like within their first 2 days of work. Okay, so the first one we're going to go over is company pride. So you will be taking company pride photos. When you look at the submission list that I touched on earlier, we can go back to that. You will be submitting 2 company pride photos. You will also be submitting 2 in-action photos, 2 workspace photos, 2 coworker and supervisor photos. If you don't have to do both, if for any reason you can't get your coworker to take a photo with you or your supervisor, you can take 2 with your supervisor and 2 with your coworker. Just make sure that they're different photos, that they're not the same setting. 1 thank you video, 4 in-action videos, 1 company spotlight video, and 1 final video. I do want to remind you that the videos do not have to be more than about 30 to 40 seconds long, except the final video. That one will be a little longer, and we'll go into what that video encompasses. So going back. So company pride photos. Essentially what our vision is behind that is just showing what company it is you're working for. So here you can see some of our students took a picture in front of the logo of the company they're working for. So you'll see one standing in front of the L'Oreal sign. And for all of you that will probably be interning here at USD, you don't have to be in front of the building that you're working for. It could be your USD merch, or it could, for those of you that are remote and probably your company doesn't have the space where you can take a photo in front of their logo, but they also didn't give you merch. I've had students print out the logo and take a picture with that, or I've had them also like lift up their computer and with the name of the company and they take a photo of that. So just make sure that if you are going to utilize your computer, make sure that you're again adjusting your exposure so that we make sure that we can see what's on your computer or on the paper, and just try to make it creative and still engaging when you are taking these photos. So just a couple more examples here. You'll see some of the students took a photo with their merch, or like the one with athletics, she was wearing both her merch and next to the logo. So that's pretty awesome. So in action photos, essentially what in action photos are and what in action videos are is we want to see what you do day to day. So here you can see our students got really creative. You know, some of them worked in really awesome spots and they were able to take some really cool photos that they were probably going to use for their social media anyway. So they submitted that to me and that was really awesome. But we've also had students that maybe day to day they really are just working on Excel or they're taking research notes. Here the student like let me know that he actually like wasn't doing anything when he took this photo. He was just simulating the environment that he usually would be in, just because unfortunately he usually works with the team and he didn't feel comfortable saying like, hey, I want to take a photo right now. So it's totally okay to re-simulate the environments that you're typically in. Those of you that may be working with patients and you have patient like confidentiality, I don't want to ask you to break that. So please, if you have to simulate these environments or remake them with a coworker, that is totally fine. Remember that people do not know what they don't know. So they don't know that that might not actually be a counseling session, or they might not know that you're not actually doing anything while you're pretending to write on a piece of paper. But they did a good job at simulating that, and that's why we have these as our examples. For our student actually on the top right, she was working in an OBGYN's office. And for those of you that might be going into the medical field, you know that sometimes like it's tough to try and take photos and videos while you're working in that type of environment. So she was able to work out an understanding with her supervisor and he helped her like simulate environments. And we are, Abby and myself and your counselor, we're more than happy to get together with you if you have any exceptions or any restrictions that you're working with, and we can help you work around those. So here are just a couple more examples of what that looks like. Again, I tried to have a good array of different positions and photos and students so that for all of you that are working in different fields, you can maybe get a quick inspiration of what to do. So the next one is workspace photos. So workspace photos is just show us where it is you're working. If you can see behind me, I'm in my office. So this would be my workspace. We've had students that work outside, that work in a recording studio, in a lab. So we had a student that worked in a library. We just want to see where it is that you were day to day. If that was your room, which we've had that as well, that is totally fine to take a picture of you working in your room. Or I've had students that were working remotely and so they went and took a photo in a coffee shop because they were able to work in different coffee shops throughout the summer. So really, again, I'm just prompting you to get creative and don't be afraid to step out of the box a little bit. Coworker and supervisor photos. For that one, we just want to see who it is you're working with and what the great work it is that you're doing. So if you work remotely and you do not see your supervisor or your coworker, we've had students take a photo on Zoom. Just if you are taking a Zoom photo, please try and make sure that it's the highest quality setting possible, because when we did try to submit those photos last year, the program bounced it back because it wasn't good quality. So those are just some quick tips to keep in mind. So for the thank you video, this video, it's pretty simple. When you start the video, please wait 5 seconds before starting to speak and then say thank you. I would recommend to try and say thank you not too fast, because we do try and compile everybody's thank you together. So if we can try and offer some cohesiveness, that would be better. So here's an example.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go into in-action photos or videos. In-action videos, very similar to in-action photos. Again, just display what it is you're doing. So before I go into it more, I'll just show you what it looks like. So again, there's no need to put audio. As you saw, he didn't necessarily speak. We're using this as B-roll. So typically what that means is that I'll be using the visual aspect of your video and putting it on top of audio that we're using, whether it's from you, ourselves, to tell the story. So please make sure that your in-action videos are creative and engaging. Those are the ones that are really our bread and butter and that are really important to us, that alongside with your final video. Here's another example. So the reason why I put these two videos is because, as you can see here, neither of them are doing necessarily anything really out of the ordinary. Of course, we did have students that their in-action videos were like someone built a boat. So he took a video of him building a boat. Somebody worked at, I believe it was Burning Man. So she was building the exhibit that they were making, and we had someone who was like a scuba diver teacher, and so she took videos of her underwater. Like those of course are amazing, very engaging. We had someone work at, I believe it was a zoo, so she had videos of her feeding the animals. So those are really awesome, those are really cool, and obviously I think those are just the knowns. But I also just wanted to show you that if your internship is more doing just daily tasks, that is totally okay. It's still engaging and creative, and we still want to see it. So please, if you need any just brainstorming, or you might not feel like you know what to shoot, I am more than happy to kind of bounce ideas around. And just a reminder that these videos shouldn't be longer than a minute. They don't have to be longer than a minute. But if you want to submit something that's longer than a minute because you think it's really awesome and you would really like us to display it, I am more than happy. The more the merrier. If you really like your internship and you really just want to display it and you want to submit more than what is required, that is more than welcome. But please don't pressure yourself to take a really long video. So the next one is company spotlight video. That one's going to be kind of similar to your company pride photo. And it'll essentially be you talking about the company and spotlighting it. So I'll go into showing you a previous student submission.
So I am interning with the San Diego Audubon Society this summer, and the main thing that they do basically is try to shape a culture in San Diego where nature is a common interest of everybody, where people care about the conservation of birds, of native plants, animals, and the thriving of our ecosystems. One example is the Rewild Mission Bay project that the San Diego Audubon is leading. What they're trying to do is rewild the northeast corner of Mission Bay, where Kendall Frost Marsh currently lies. And what they're trying to do is revitalize that ecosystem of wetlands and mudflats so that a lot of bird species can come back and thrive. Unfortunately, they haven't over the last few hundred years since San Diego has grown in development, but also to, help fish species grow, combat climate change, especially with rising sea levels, which we will be experiencing pretty soon. So the San Diego Audubon does a lot. Mainly, they try to protect birds, but for example, the Rewild Mission Bay project isn't all about birds. It's about the ecosystem as a whole. It's about our urban development and protecting us from climate change. And overall, it's just a goal to conserve nature and to connect people to nature, both culturally, socially, and actively, because otherwise people wouldn't be able to do that.
So this video was awesome. We love it. I do have some quick tips that I just want to give. And the reason why I put his video is because I really like how he really went into detail about what it is that his company does. And you could really see his passion displaying through this video. My goal this year with the video is to showcase your voices a little more than you'll probably see in the video that we created last year. So in order to do that, what we do need from you is that, one, you're not taking the video like as a selfie. So like what I'm doing right now is I propped up my video, I turned on Zoom, and I'm recording. So that's one quick and easy way to do it. And the quality on Zoom is usually really good. If you don't have Zoom, you can also do it on your phone, prop it up on a ledge and speak to it this way. That way, that when I am putting your video and I want to showcase you, we can do that, and you're not like super close to the camera and it doesn't feel like off-putting, and we're not cropping you out, because that's the last thing I would want to do. One other note is please try and speak up. Usually we do put music in the background even when you are speaking, so usually so that we don't distort your voice in post-production. It's just easier if you're projecting, and you're also trying to keep an engaging tone. All of you are doing amazing work, and we want to make sure that when the audience is hearing your story, that they are staying engaged while you're telling your story. So it is important that maybe you practice a little bit before you take your video. In complete honesty, I had to reshoot this video a million times, so we totally get it. And if you need a walkthrough, I am more than happy to do that with you. Again, just reach out. And here's another one.
Hello, so my name is Olivia Wagner, and I'm currently a mechanical engineering intern at Clear Blue Sea, which is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to cleansing the world's oceans of plastic pollution. And their main goal is to complete this aim with the floating robot for eliminating debris, also known as FRED. So CBC also really emphasizes education, and there's a lot of really great resources on their website, which is clearbluesea.org, and ways that you can volunteer and help out. I'm currently majoring in integrated engineering with a sustainability concentration at USD. So this internship really just fit into my interests. And I got a lot of hands-on experience with mechanical engineering, which was super exciting. So there are several iterations of FRED that we have. This is our warehouse. So the first thing that we did in our internship was take apart Fred Jr., which was like a prototype model that was no longer needed. So that's what these platoons used to be. And we've now taken them all apart. We also have Freddy, that's what this is. So this is the do-it-yourself model. And the goal is to create an open source design, but then anyone could use and build on their own. So the goal is to have plastic will come up the conveyor belt and then will be put into a bin at the top. And so that's how Fred will just be moving around, and that's how the plastic will be taken out of the ocean. So the next thing we're going to be doing is working on the conveyor belt design to make it better. So that's really exciting. And the last model that we have is Clarity, which is a smaller model that can be used to test sensors, because it's a lot easier to take out into the ocean. Doesn't need a whole trailer and everything. So yeah, this is our warehouse.
So again, I chose this video because I really like how Olivia went into like her internship and all the different amazing things they're doing, and really just displayed her passion for what it is she's doing this summer. Just some quick notes again. All I would say is try and avoid background noise as possible, just because unfortunately we won't be able to use it in the video if there is background noise. And we want to make sure that we're really showcasing each and every one of you as much as possible. So that would just make it easier on us, just because we won't be able to take that out of the video, unfortunately. And yeah, I totally encourage you, if you want to take someone through a walkthrough, you are more than welcome to. The only thing I would say is try and avoid using the front camera when you are showcasing. Maybe just try and switch your camera to the back camera, or if you want to just talk about it and then you want to send me B-roll, and I am more than happy to put that like on top of your video as you're talking, so that I'm showcasing what it is you're talking about. I am more than happy to do that as well. So again, just coordinate with me and we can get on the same page about that. Okay, so now let's talk about the submission process. So for the submission process, you will all be added onto a Google Drive. Like I mentioned, just log in only with your @sandiego.edu email. You all should have access if you're utilizing that email. If you get a notification that says that you don't have access, you might just be on the wrong email. So I'd recommend to just switch and make sure that you're on the San Diego one. But if for any reason you are on the San Diego one and you're still getting an error, please reach out to myself and I am more than happy to troubleshoot with you. If you need any help, I've linked my email right here. It's @malvaz@sandiego.edu. And I've also put our website here where you can find an appointment with our counselors. But again, you should all have been assigned a counselor. You have Abby's email, you have mine, so you can always ask us. I've also put our handle for Instagram. So last year we had our students actually submit their day in the life videos of what it looked like to be in their internship, and we put that on social media. Look, we are not having you do that this year. If you want to do it for fun and you want to submit it and you want us to display it to everybody, we are more than happy to, and I would love that. But the reason why I am hoping that you will go check it out is to hopefully give you some inspiration. Although you're not doing a day in the life, you can see what it is that students usually capture and what it is that they talked about. Because remember, everything that we've submitted onto our social media or that's live, it's been approved by us, and it's usually the format that we are okay with. So everything should be helpful. If there's anything that maybe you didn't see your internship reflected, and maybe you want to see if I have some footage on some student that has something that's more correlated to what you're doing this summer, reach out to me, and I probably do, because we do have a lot of archives of this internship over the years. For the timeline, sorry. So after this orientation, you will all be receiving an email with your deadlines, with instructions on your assignments. And I do also want to reassure you that each one of the instructions will go into the prompts that these students were answering when they were recording their videos and taking their photos. So you won't have to just go based off memory. That will all be provided for you. And if for any reason if by the end of May you have not received an email from me, please reach out to me and let me know. There is about 60 of you, so I can totally see if maybe I accidentally sent someone 2 emails, or accidentally forgot to send something to someone. So the earlier you reach out to me, the earlier we can get everything situated. So you will have a total of 3 assignments. Even though you have 7 photos, 8 videos, I've split that up into a total of 3 assignments, and your due dates will vary based on the groups that you're in, but everyone will be submitting their last assignment before the end of July, unless you have an internship that's starting in late July. Somewhere around September, we will have an SIA ceremony, so we'll go over that, and I'll be sending you an email for what that is. But essentially, it's going to be another part of your requirements. And for those of you that might be abroad or you're going to be remote, we're hoping to maybe transition the ceremony onto a virtual format. And essentially what it will be is we're inviting employers, we're inviting the donors, and we're inviting yourselves to come out to watch the video, see the book, meet the donors, and hopefully get some networking component in. And so now we'll go into looking at the videos that we've made based off last year's content. And remember, the better the content, the better the video.
My experience was amazing. Like, I enjoyed absolutely every single day I was there, and I really just took it all in, just because I knew it was a great opportunity and such a big opportunity from the jump. The workplace culture at L'Oreal is so extremely warming and welcoming, and they also treat you as if you were an employee. And so my first day was, introduced to the layout of the office, and I was given my project, and I was given the resources to complete my project. And it wasn't like someone was holding my hand. I had the opportunity to really feel like I was a L'Oreal employee. For me, I've always wanted to live in New York, and so when I looked for internships, I literally wanted a handshake. I just put New York. I was like, New York engineering internship. I wasn't really thinking about the cost, and then once I got the internship, I'm like, okay. Yeah, so I used the money for my housing, literally to share a room. Like, it was a small, tight little area, and so I had to pay $5,500. I never had to shy away from anything because of fear of a financial constraint or anything. Going into the internship, they have this management trainee position. They're kind of like dangling over our heads. Like, we're only gonna offer 12 interns this management trainee position. So from the jump, I was like, I need to do amazing because you're only offering 12 interns this. And he said, let's set up a meeting to talk. And then during the meeting, he offered me the full-time rotational position for the management trainee, which is absolutely amazing, especially as a senior and it's first semester. I signed the offer, of course, and everything just looks great. I'm happy with it. To actually go to New York and experience L'Oreal, the company, and how my everyday life would look like, helped me to know that this is the job that I do want to pursue in my next 3 to 5 years, or whatever it may be, or 10, 20, I don't know. Tutu. I am a third-year industrial and systems engineering major with a concentration in sustainability. I will be interning this summer with L'Oreal as a supply chain operations intern.
Hi, my name's Carolyn Corley, and this summer I will be working for the Bay Island College of Diving, where I will be a dive master and instructor candidate.
My name's Katie Power, and I'll be working with Road Less Travel this summer as a trip intern.
I'm working with the nonprofit here in San Diego, the San Diego Audubon Society, and I'm working with them as a summer intern, specifically working on their native seed library program.
The education internship at the California Wolf Center.
I will be working as a student worker at the LA County District Attorney's Office this summer.
I will be a public health chemistry intern this summer.
I will be interning with the VA Corps as a psychology counseling intern.
The Summer Internship Award is one of the most unique programs the Career Development Center has the opportunity to put on. During the summer, our team takes it one step further and helps students build their resume and showcase the Torero curiosity, creativity, and innovation.
The Summer Internship Award has been active for over 8 years and has helped over 470 students. This year, we had the opportunity to help 57 students in 53 unique organizations, in a diverse range of roles from engineering, environmental science, research, and so much more. Some of our students were even able to work with Fortune 500 companies through the Summer Internship Award.
Our family wanted to start this summer internship program to help students here at USD make the leap from the classroom to the real world. And we found through our own personal experiences, through my business experience, and understanding what it takes to get a job in today's world, that students would really benefit from having a more structured summer internship program so that they could learn about what is happening in their potential field of study. We hope that every student who participates in the program will learn a little bit more about a potential field of study. It's a chance to experiment, it's a chance to try new things, it's a chance to see what it's really like.
USD's Career Development Center would like to thank all of our donors, students, and employers for all of their efforts this year. We couldn't have done it without you.
Thank 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 you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, so those are just some the videos that we took last year and that we were able to create. So I just wanted to hopefully inspire you a little bit and just let you all into what it is that is the bigger project that we're all working on. So again, if any of you have any questions, concerns, or just want to chat and go over the requirements, I am more than happy to meet with you. Just reach out to me and we can talk and maybe bounce off some ideas. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. You have my email, you have Abby's email, and you also have your counselor's email. So reach out to any of us, all of us. We're more than happy to help you. And good luck with your internship. And I hope to see you soon. See you later.